Welcome to Running on Reddit, r/AmItheAsshole, where people are either in the right, or totally in the wrong. I have big bobs. I'm currently at 52 kilograms and there's nothing I can do to change the size of these things, unless I have surgery. I'm also extremely shy and from a very conservative family, so my resentment and shame towards my bust is an ongoing issue. My friend Sarah is one of those unfiltered free thinkers who says whatever is on her mind. She's also slim and her chest is very much in proportion to the rest of her body. We work together and I'm always secretly jealous of how great shirts and tops look on her, whereas I feel I look very sloppy and unprofessional with oversized, ill-fitting clothes. Sarah has this way of always bringing up my bobs in conversation, starting off complimentary but often ending with a subtle insult. She knows they're a physical feature I'm uncomfortable with, but doesn't let up. Examples of things she'll say is how my bobs look good now, but give it a few years, and they'll be down to my knees haha. Or she'll show me comments on Reddit where people are discussing chest size preferences, and most are commenting how they much prefer a smaller bust over large. Or just a general reminder of how workhorse men will never take me seriously because of my cartoon bobs. I know she's trying to have light-hearted fun, but it gets to me and I've told her a few times to drop it before. Now we're working from home. We all have daily video calls and meetings. Uniform is not necessary and can wear what we like. A few days ago, it was extremely hot and I was wearing a lighter, more revealing top than my usual baggy cover-ups. During this video call, in front of 6 other colleagues, Sarah starts vocalizing her thoughts on my appearance. Holy crap. Put those away. You look like you're in a porno. We don't need to see that first thing in the morning haha. I was mortified. One other colleague laughed along, but the rest looked uncomfortable. I felt close to tears, made an excuse and left the meeting. Sarah called me up half an hour later asking me what was wrong, and I went off on her. Told her to go duck herself and was sick of her constant jabs about my appearance. I went on a 10-minute tirade and hung up. Sarah has been off sick since that day and we haven't spoken again. I'm wondering if I was too harsh and maybe should call and apologize for my outburst. Was I the butthole? Edit, I'm fuming. I just spoke with a colleague, John, who was part of the video call that day, and he told me that Sarah's been telling everyone that it's me that's been bullying her, and making her feel insecure about her appearance. When she made those comments during the meeting, it was in retaliation to how I've made her feel. Apparently, I said she looks like a boy and called her flat-chested and ugly several times in the past. I have never and would never say this. I don't even understand the stupid boy body insult because a small bust has always looked very beautiful and classy in my eyes. Anyway, John knows she's full of crap and has suggested we speak with HR. The others will also back me up. I know most people here suggested I do this, and I wasn't sure at first but duck it, I'm reporting her. I don't know why I ever considered her a friend, she's ducking mental and annoying. It's a good thing OP had the courage to unfriend Sarah and bring up the matter with HR. In other news, Sarah's goose is cooked. I am 31, and have an identical twin brother. For a while I've told my wife that none of her family members notice me or care about anything I do on Christmas Eve, but they insist on me attending. She told me that's not true. They genuinely like me and enjoy talking to me. But I know that the only times they've included me, I had to basically insert myself into conversations and it feels awkward and unnatural. So, I had a wager with my wife. Bring my twin brother Steve instead of me, and see if anyone notices. I purposefully did not prep Steve on anything, he went in completely clueless, he knew why we were doing it and was game. I gave him $20. As I suspected, Steve confirmed that he wasn't approached all night, nobody could tell he wasn't me, and he admitted he even felt excluded and he could only imagine how I felt. So this morning on Christmas, I invited Steve to join. Normally he's with my mom and dad every year as he's not married or in a relationship. They know about him obviously, but didn't know about the switcheroo. That was when I revealed that last night, I was Steve and expressed disappointment that nobody noticed and said this is why I stopped trying. Nobody talks to me. My wife drew the line here. She was hoping we would keep this between the two of us as a funny prank. But how can I expect her family to see what jerks they've been if I don't expose it? For what it's worth, Steve was fine. There isn't a great solution to this mess, other than to not attend these frivolous and oftentimes dysfunctional get-togethers with the in-laws. Solved. Ever since we, 27, had a baby, my wife had been talking like a baby herself. Rather than teaching the baby to talk like a person, it's as if my wife's language has become baby-like. She would make noises in between conversations like bo-dee whoop and a wow oh thwartata, even when talking with adults. This is especially embarrassing when I am with her in public places, when she talks like that to complete strangers. I have been telling nicely to her to not do that, but she would just laugh it off, totally oblivious to how people around us stare, whenever she talks like a baby. I have to point out that she is not in the spectrum, just a crazy new mum. In fact, too crazy sometimes. It was a day off for us when we have my parents babysitting the baby, and we finally have some time by ourselves. We went out for dinner and she done it again, talking to the waiter, something like this. Yippee thanks ya ha ha ha. Oh oi iya. By the way, can you give us an extra plate for this? Seeing how the waiter staring at her as if she's some kind of mentality challenged, I rolled my eyes and told her, I am taking a break today and don't need another baby who cannot even talk properly to look after. Please excuse me. Then I left the restaurant without her. I don't know what occurred to me, but I probably shouldn't have done that, but I guess I kinda just snapped. Am I the butthole? OP was a tad harsh in leaving his wife at the restaurant, but then again, catering to 2 infants at the same time takes its toll. I sound like a real butthole, but I've completely lost my mind over this. I'm 17 and my stepbrother is 17. We both have our driving license. I just found out 5 days ago that my dad and stepmom bought a used car for my stepbrother. They got me a $600 gift card to Best Buy. I know $600 is a lot of money, but what the duck? Am I crazy or is it super unfair? It's literally the straw that broke the goddamn camel's back. I'm actually so pissed off that I've moved to my mom's house full time. My dad seems to be genuinely sorry and told me he's looking for a car now but that it'll take a while. I messaged him back saying that I'll decide if I want to see him after he decides, to be fair for once. I've ignored all other calls and messages from him since. My stepbrother messaged me saying that I need to chill out and that he'll let me use his car. He also said that I need to stop whining and ruining everyone's Christmas. I told him to get in his Civic and duck off. Am I the butthole? The amount of entitlement reeking off this kid is immense. However, parents need to treat siblings equally in order to avoid this type of scenario. My wife died at the young age of 51 from a car accident. I was in deep mourning for about a year after her death. I met my new girlfriend C, 43, around January. C was the one who made me laugh for the first time after my wife died. She's smart as hell, 3 Ivy League degrees, has a dark sense of humor that I love, a terrific cook, and overall an amazing woman who I can imagine spending the rest of my life with. She is also on the heavier side, a fact that becomes relevant later. I have 2 children, E, 25-year-old male, and A, 19-year-old female. They were well aware that I had gotten a new girlfriend before I first introduced them to C this summer. She got along immediately with E, but A was very standoffish. After that initial meeting, I asked A if there was something wrong, but she denied it. C made a few more attempts to get to know A, but they were all rudely rejected. E and A both came home for Thanksgiving dinner. I asked A to please be polite during the meal, since she's always been rude in her interactions with C, even though C has been nothing but gracious in return. The dinner was going as well as it could have for the first 10 minutes, although I noticed A glaring at C the entire time. When C went to grab her third helping of mashed potatoes, I said, "Don't you think you've eaten enough, you fat pig?" C started sobbing immediately and ran off into the bedroom. I felt my face turn red and told A to get out. About half an hour after I left, I texted her stating that I would no longer pay her tuition unless 1. She apologized to C, and 2. C accepts her apology. I must have assumed that I was bluffing because she instead doubled down on her behavior during Thanksgiving dinner. I then logged into her university's tuition payment website, cancelled next semester's tuition, and sent A the screenshots. She called me crying and begging me to reconsider, but I told her my mind was made up. From what was described from the situation, all parties involved need therapy badly.